Hello, everybody from Star Trek to whatever science fiction that draws you to watch them for hours and years on end. My name is Wayne. I'm also known as the um, Red Shirt Commander. Don't ask why, because I end up dying a lot, but that's probably a completely another topic. We're here with my colleague, Security Chief Annabelle.
Hello.
Oh, hang on, I haven't
I'm
finished yet.
also here. Let me
Yeah.
introduce myself.
Oh
Jeez.
God. But by all means, just do it. Go for it.
Hello, I'm Annabelle. I'm also in this podcast. Security Chief barely. Honorary title, really.
Oh no, it's not honorary. You're meant to throw yourselves in front of the captain all the time.
Right, of course, that's exactly what I do all the time, just like Tasha Yar.
Oh boy, this is gonna go crap. Okay. So basically, there's been a bit of a gap between these purely and simply because we've all been on holidays and now
It's
we're
been the
back
new
and we've
year.
got nothing else to do but do these. Um, so Annabelle picked this, so I
You
get
get
to
to
lay the
introduce it.
I get
Yep.
to lay the rules down. So it is a DS9 episode. Um, Our Man Bashir. So season 4, episode 9. Although it depends on which
Yeah,
website you
which
look
website
on.
you're looking at? Yeah.
It's episode 4, season 10 or season 8 or so. Depend. I don't know what's going on.
Well,
And again,
on IMDb it says episode 10, but on other
yes.
things it also says episode 9, so I don't know which one it is.
And when I looked on Paramount to watch it a while ago, it's episode 9. So I don't know what's going
I don't
on.
know what's going on there.
But even when it was first aired, it's different dates on when it was first aired. So it was first aired on November the 27th, 1995. Damn, that was a long time ago. Um,
I wasn't alive yet.
plots, oh, the plot's pretty straightforward. It
It's a really good
basically,
plot.
it,
It's the next
it's
generation plot, is what it is.
well, yeah, all right.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah.
Star Trek plots are pretty straightforward. Within the franchise. There's always a transporter or a holodeck or a ship blowing up. They're your three main situations.
Yep.
And this is, that's their typical situations. This one is basically so Bashir and Garrick on the holodeck doing a James Bond kind of themed holo novel. And we're going to get into that. I I really know we're going to get into that.
Wayne's got notes,
Really
I think.
know. Um, and they're playing around with, spies and counter spies and all that, and that's fine. And then we've got a shuttle coming from a conference
With every
who
single member of Ops in it, apart
I
from
know.
Bashir.
I mean, why
And
would
you're like,
you?
why is everyone on this
I
ship?
know
Why is everyone on the
every
ship?
bridge officer is on it, but let me get through the plot before we
Sorry,
start
sorry.
picking. So basically, they're coming back. They have a problem. The shuttle's gonna explode. So Odo and Eddington. Eddington's the good guy still here at the moment.
Yeah, which is gonna be really funny in this episode when you know that he's gonna betray them
I
all.
know it's
And
it's
you're like,
hilarious.
whoa, he's got a lot of he could just kill them all right now, but he doesn't.
So they figure out if they can cut down all of the ship's computers, they can
Well,
basically
no, you have to.
transport them.
There's a shuttle accident. The
Well, there
shuttle
is a shuttle
gets
accident. It's going to blow up,
this. It's about to blow up, and
and
they
they're going
get
to try
halfway
and
through the
beam them out.
transporter. Yeah.
So they beam them out, and of course, like all Star Trek, I mean, it's a workplace nightmare. There's always going to be a work cover incident where you have to get the interplanetary work cover guys out to have a look at something,
Yeah,
and of course, it
expeditiously.
happens again. They get stuck in the computer, but their bodies, their images get put into where do you think? Drum roll.
The holodeck
In the
program.
holodeck program. So they become the characters of the holodeck program, but their brains and their consciousness is
In
stuck
the entirety of the ship's
in the
computer.
entirety of the ship. So
They
the
had to
whole thing,
delete the memory of the entire team of DS9. They just deleted all the memory and they
I
put these
know
six people's
it's
brains
always
into the memory, and you're like, guys, that doesn't sound good.
it's always fun when it comes to that. So they've got them in there, they're in there, but the bigger problem is that the characters, their physical characters now have taken on the characters of the
of the
players
people.
in the holodeck. So
And in the
um,
program, all of the safety measures have been turned off so they can
I
die
don't
now.
understand how that happens.
I don't
I,
know either, but it's
I'd
just
be,
to up the stakes. They just went, we need to up the stakes
I
slightly.
mean, I'm sorry, but the holodecks are becoming quite dangerous. I think
It
they
should
should.
be like it should have a cap that you actually can't turn the safety measures off because I think that's so stupid. What do you mean you could die in a holodeck program? You shouldn't be able to
No,
die in a
no.
holodeck program.
So the basic plot is Bashir has to hold the hologram. It's always you've got to hold the hologram open.
Yeah, he's got a whole. He can't
You
like
can't
tell the
leave. You've
computer
got
to
to
pause
play
it.
the
He
game
can't stop
out.
it. He's got to do the whole game without dying and without any of the characters dying because it might kill the real person.
Yeah, why they try and figure out how to get them back together and get them out of the program.
And it's
Um,
Quark and Rom and Odo and Eddington, which is a hilarious combination of people trying
yeah.
to fix the
Oh,
ship.
there's a lot of hilarious stuff going on in this episode.
Yeah, the
Now that
spatula, the spatula.
I've completely buggered up the entire episode, I'm going to hand
You're
it
doing
over
great.
to
You're doing
Annabelle.
great.
So sit down, get a cup of tea, get your favorite
No,
popcorn, because this is
no.
going to be a long one. All right, this
Well,
is
I
going to be a
picked this
really long
episode.
one.
I
So
picked this one.
Annabelle,
Yeah. Yes.
start.
I'm doing it. No, I picked this episode because it's like a pinnacle Bashir episode. And as you know, I love Bashir, but he's kind of terrible for a lot of the seasons, the first two seasons. And this is the season where he starts to get really good. And I think this is one of those episodes where you really get to see his character that he's like he will do whatever it takes to make sure people get out of there alive. You know?
The funny thing in on the fan fact sheets, like Star Trek fan fact sheets, this is actually the episode that made Bashir one of the most popular characters in DS9.
It's because he's fantastic in this episode. I love him
This is
so.
the
Also,
very
his
episode.
dynamic with Garak is
Oh,
perfect. I love their
I love
dynamic
Garrick.
so
I don't
much.
care.
Like,
I don't care. Garrick's a bad guy or a good guy. I
no,
don't know
no,
what
I
he
love
is.
them both individually, but then you put them together and it's like
Yeah,
I could watch these guys for hours. They're
yeah.
like so
This
good.
is the Q version. I think Garrick is Q on DS9.
Mm.
I mean, like we could do podcast after podcast on Garrick's
Just on
character.
Garak, yeah.
Yeah, I love Garrick, and you're right. I have to agree with you. Put Bashir and him together, and the two of them are just hilarious.
So much fun to watch. Like their
Yeah,
dialogue is so good. I love both the actors, the way they both approach the situation differently is
yeah.
awesome. But they're sort of like similar, which I really love because like Garak is all about lying and Bashir has spent his entire life lying about who he is. And there's like this
I don't even think
so
he knows
good.
who he is anymore, to be truthfully
Yeah,
honest.
yeah,
And you
exactly.
get to see a bit of of his version of being a spy in
Hmm,
this. And sometimes you forget it's only a hologram.
hmm.
And I know there's the safeties off, but you just kind of yeah.
I think these
Um,
episodes are really like they happen a lot in Next Generation. There's always a holodeck malfunction.
yeah, always.
And these episodes, like I always think about one of my favorite next gen episodes is Fistful of Datas because
Ah,
it's so much fun to watch the actors in a different situation
yeah,
just showing off their chops. Like I love watching Nana Visitor do the Russian accent. I love watching Avery Brooks be this like brooding evil character when he's usually
yeah. He
so
does it really
intelligent.
well.
It's so well. They all do
I
it so
think
well. And I'm
he
like, these are the episodes I love watching because I get to see all of these actors just show off how incredible they are as actors.
I think he played the evil mastermind really, really well. It was convincing that he
Mm.
was an evil mastermind. And I read somewhere that somebody was saying, "Oh yeah, but it's just Avery Brooks playing a bad Benjamin Sisko." No, I
No, I
don't
don't think it
agree
is
with
at
that.
all.
This is a completely different way of him playing a character. You can see it in it. I
The
don't
thing about
agree with that
Cisco
statement at
that I
all.
think Avery does so well about Cisco is that underneath Cisco, there's always such a like a tenderness, a kindness. He like cares about people so much. But I
Yeah,
feel like this
he's
character he's playing now, he's lost it. Like he's put that
oh, it
kind of
was
Cisco
never there.
completely away, and it's
It was
great, and I
never
love
there.
it. I'm like, you can see the subtlety of his acting between playing Cisco and playing this, evil
Yeah.
caricature mastermind guy.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, when you see, I mean, he's only on for a very short period of time. All right, it is very
Yeah,
um, Bashir and Garrick centric. I get
yeah,
that, and Avery Brooks only comes on for a really limited amount of. But when he's on, he plays that evil character.
he
I
steals the
think
show a little bit.
perfectly.
I gotta be honest,
I think
for
he
me at
could have
least.
easily have done an evil character in a movie and would have got away with it really well. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know if you ever saw it, a TV series called Spencer, where
no.
he plays Brooks plays well, the only way to say it is he's an assassin.
Oh
But
wow.
the Spencer character is a detective, like a private investigator, and he and Hawk, I think it is, become very good friends. And every now and then he'll come in. And in that series, it's almost that kind of character. He's cold, he's hard, he doesn't
Mm,
care about people. And I think always remember back to that episode, that series when I watch the episode when they bring in the Romulans into the Dominion War. That's the kind of
yeah.
character he
Oh
played.
yeah.
I mean that's a very raw.
That's
Um,
such an episode. That's one of the
there is Star Trek, but it is also no Star Trek on that episode. And I know
yeah.
we've segued a little bit here, but I mean, I think Avery Brooks, I think he got a bit typecast as Cisco. I think he's a
Mm,
very good actor and could have played a lot of more incredible roles if he decided to move away. But
yeah.
I think sadly he didn't go any further with any acting up and beyond Star Trek.
Yeah.
But I know you want to get into the criticism, so start getting into the criticism. I
I'm
mean,
not going to get into criticism.
everybody's
I actually
waiting for
have.
you to criticize
I'm not
something.
going to be critical because this is one of my favorite episodes, and I have
Oh,
many,
here
many
we
good
go.
things to say about this episode. No, I want to talk about what I think is a pinnacle moment from this episode, which is they've just made it out of the rocket thing where they're going to die to lava. You know,
Oh, you mean
Bashir has
the big laser,
the big laser. Yeah,
the
they've
big
just made it
laser.
out, and Garrick is like, "I'm done. We're gonna die. I can't keep going with this. I'm going to call the Arch, and I'm going to leave this holodeck." And Bashir is like, "I can't let you do that because you're going to kill all my friends." And he's got a little pistol gun, and Garrick goes to call the Arch, and Bashir fucking shoots him. Bashir shoots him. She pulls the gun out and shoots Garrick in the neck. And Garrick's face when he does this, incredible. I love it.
I'd always wondered in that episode whether or not Bashir shot Garrick where he intended, or was he aiming to actually inflict more pain, more injury to him, or did he just get a lucky shot?
I think it was intentional. I think it was intentional. I feel like Bashir would be a good shot. I mean, yeah, he is a good shot. He's genetically engineered to be a really good shot.
I'm not 100. I like that point because it allows people to make, oh, hang on, maybe Bashir would have shot him and killed him. There
I
is a
don't think he would have killed him.
possibility
Bashir is
that
a doctor. He wouldn't have killed him. He couldn't kill him.
I'm not, you're talking about his friends, and we're still not 100% certain how friendly Bashir and Garrick are. I mean,
Well, they're pretty
they,
they're pretty friendly. I mean,
they
in
tolerate
season
each other
is it in season
because,
two? No, no, no. You remember that in season two, they have an episode where Garak is succumbing to his drug addiction, and Bashir literally goes to Cardassia and talks to Tane to save Garak's life. That's when they become friends. That happens before this episode. They're already friends. They've gone through this incredible life-changing scenario together already. They have this dynamic. I think they care about each other, and I think Bashir cares about all
yeah, but
people,
do you honestly
regardless.
believe that he would have cared about Garrick more than over the other friends. I mean,
No, but he's not going to kill him for it. He wouldn't kill
I don't
him
know.
even when he was like in terrible pain and had to go to Cardassia and put his own life at risk. And he's
Yeah,
already
but
gone
do
through all this
do you
terrible stuff.
remember
Poor Garrett.
when they turned back to Bashir, you saw
Yeah,
the eyes. Those were stone eyes. I mean, they weren't mucking around.
yeah,
I'm not
that's what I mean.
100%.
He
I
shot him
think he would have
deliberately.
shot him. I
I don't
don't
think he
think
would
he
have killed
did.
him. I don't think Bashir could kill anybody. Bashir is not that kind of
I
person.
I think he could have. I think if it had come down to Garrick calling the arch, I think honestly that Bashir would have done it.
I think if Garrett kept going, like if Garrett tried to call again, maybe might have shot it. But Garrett stopped. They were really playing a game of chicken. Who would break first? And Garrett didn't believe that Bashir could hurt him full stop. And you can see
Yeah,
in Garrett's
okay.
eyes
All
that
right.
he suddenly has respect for Bashir. He's like, oh my God, I didn't think you would actually hurt someone in order to save some other people. I will go with you now because you've proven to me that you're invested in this. Like he has a bit of a turnaround moment like Garrett does.
I personally reckon that Bashir,
You think he meant to shoot him the first time?
I think he meant to. I honestly did. And I
Wow.
think he just, he didn't account for because that little pistol
A
gun,
little pistol, yeah.
it wouldn't have been like a rifled, I reckon. It would have been like a small bore. So this thing would have either kicked away like mad and the projectile would have been quite
Hmm.
unstable.
Hmm.
So I honestly, when Garrick says, "Oh, you got me here," and then I, you were you aiming to hurt me? And then Bashir says, "Well, who says I wasn't aiming?" I
Hmm.
actually believe Bashir was being serious there, but that's me. That's my
Right.
perspective on it.
Hmm.
Um,
I think
but
that's
believe
just
it or
like,
not, the
hmm.
whole episode became one of the most loved hologram tragedies. Now, that says a
Wow.
lot about how many times that Star Trek had done hologram tragedies.
Many, many, many times.
Yeah, and this became one of the most popular, but it also got a lot of criticism from MGM.
Hmm. I know. MGM called them up afterwards and was like, you can't do that.
Well, the MGM had James Bond's. I think they were the one that had
They have to,
the
yeah.
they had the franchise. They were concerned about a parody making their franchise look
I've got to
silly.
think here if I can read this. After this episode aired, the producers got an angry letter from MGM, the studio which holds the right to the James Bond property. The DS9 companion doesn't reveal the content of the letter other than to say apparently MGM did not find imitation to be the sincerest form of flattery.
Oh yeah, I could. Yeah, look,
It
you're
got a
not going
very
to
harshly
remember this.
worded from MGM being like, can you not do that to James Bond, please?
But you're not going to remember this. But during the 90s, the
Hmm.
big thing was to make parodies of 60s, 70s, and 80s TV series,
Hmm.
and they made most of these parodies really stupid, really stupid.
Yeah.
And I think that's what MGM was concerned about. But the funny thing
It's
is,
such a good parody though. Like it's not making
but
fun of James Bond.
at the time, they probably didn't know how it was going to be received, I think, at that point. Because
Hmm.
a TV show like this takes a while before it becomes popular or unpopular. So there is a period where there's uncertainty, and I think MGM was concerned about that uncertainty.
Yeah.
Um, I think they were really concerned about that. And I think around that time, there was a James Bond movie ready to come out. No, I think they were
It released
concerned.
10 days before this episode released.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
This supposed episode also there was a standardized how long it would take to make an episode.
Oh, I
This
heard about
ran
this.
9 days over.
No, usually there were 7 days,
Yeah, this went
and
nine
there's
days over.
occasional ones that were 8 days, and this one was 9 days, which is the longest that they ever
Yeah,
took to film an
and it had the
episode.
most accurate settings as well.
Oh, yes. Apparently they had to redo the snow on the Mount
Yeah,
Everest thing.
there's one point where the evil Cisco's looking out, and you can tell it's basically cotton wool. You can
Yeah.
tell it's cotton wool because it's fluffy bits, and I mean not. I don't mean nice fluffy snow. I mean real floppy bits
Yeah.
that are hanging on. So you can tell that either they were running out of money for the episode, or they were running out of time.
I think it was
So
both. I think it was both.
I, I think it was probably because you look at Bashir's home, that thing had nearly every accurate piece of 1960 in it.
Oh, they've got accurate firearms in this episode for the 1960s. Like
Yeah, but
they went above and beyond for this episode.
everything in the room, like the glasses and the decanting bottles, they're all
Yeah.
1960s. So
It
somewhere
makes me
along the way,
so
they've had to go and
sad
find.
that Garrett keeps going, oh, they have such terrible taste. And I'm just sitting there going, it looks fantastic, Garrett.
I
What are you on
know
about?
the television, the old, really old kind of television in the background of the 1960s. This was state of the art at the time,
Mm,
and but they had to go and find all these. And usually, when you find something like this, you have to hire it, and it's not cheap to hire.
yeah.
So this episode and the clothing was all period. They did the whole thing. It
They
was
must
all
have had
period
so
clothing.
much fun with the clothing, honestly. Like
Oh yeah,
in the scene where they're in the what is it, the bar, the pub place
yeah.
with the games. Yeah, I love all the actors in the background, how they're dressed.
Yeah, it's you could see it was even if you did not know that they were trying to parody James Bond when
How could you
Worf.
not know?
I'm just saying, if you didn't, when Worf
Bashir,
blew
Julian
out the
Bashir.
smoke over the three of them, you think, yeah, okay,
Mm,
now we're in James Bond territory here.
yeah,
You've got a cigar that you can smoke, but you can also blow anesthetic out of it. Okay, we'll go with that.
because
Um,
it's
oh
camp.
look,
It's because it's camp. They enjoy the camp.
they were also, and I'm going to get controversial here. Here we go.
Hmm.
I'm
Oh
getting
no.
controversial. What the hell's
Now we're
going
getting
on here?
controversial. You're starting it, not me.
I know there's something wrong here. Something I must be feeling sick. Um, they copped the biggest criticism they copped was actually the depiction of the women in the
That's
episode. That
because,
was
well, this is because I have beef with those old James Bond movies, even some of the new ones, because they are incredibly misogynistic, just across the board. And it makes me sad that, like, I don't know, Golden Finger or something was on the television at the same time as Star Trek, the original series, which had a woman on the bridge as a
yeah,
main character. And then they couldn't even like give a woman a storyline in any of these
no,
movies. And
no,
because they're parodying that, the 60s James Bond, they end up sidelining the incredible female characters they have in the
yeah,
rest of the show. And it's just so painful. And you're like, why? I want them to have more space in this episode, but they have no space.
yeah, no. They've got no. There's no dimension to them at all.
Hmm.
See, I'm normally on the side if they're going to do like a historical part in Star Trek, then they've got to do the historical part really accurately, or it's
Hmm.
pointless. But
Hmm.
in this instance, I'm going to throw that out the window because you're doing it as a hollow novel.
That's what I mean. And they could have done really fun things like, okay, they could have had one of the, let's say Kira. Kira wasn't on the ship. Kira now has to help them solve it. That could be really interesting because Kira's really like explosive and she's very emotional and she really cares
Yeah,
about these people. How does
yeah.
that interact with like Eddington and have her have an actual role and character in the episode that isn't just, oh, she's a sex object.
They
She has
could have
three
had
speaking lines.
they could have had Kira or probably Kira. I think you're
I
you're
feel like
thinking
Kira would be
right.
more interesting. I think Dax is a bit too, she's so in control of herself and
Yeah,
so
she's too
used to
logical.
dealing with issues. Yeah.
I think they could have had Kira if it would have been more fun if they transported them all in and Kira somehow kept her
Mm.
um her
She's the only one
consciousness.
that came back normal or
Yeah,
something.
and
Yeah.
she had to work with them, but her volatility got in the way all the time.
Mm.
And that would have been, I think, a lot more fun than the character she was playing. The
To me,
character
it
she was
feels like,
playing,
oh, it was really,
it was
yeah.
one dimensional. It I'm not trying to justify them or anything. I think by them putting it on the holodeck, they gave themselves the right to change
Exactly. And I
the
think it's really
historical
just
side of it.
I think it's something small that happens when you have a show written pretty much exclusively by men, that they don't notice little things like that. They don't take the opportunity to include women in spaces where they can. I feel like if a woman writer was on this, she would have noticed that and she might have changed the script just a
Yeah,
little bit
I, I,
to have
I,
the woman be more involved.
I think they missed an opportunity to have a lot more fun with
Mm,
the characters. I think
And
They
it's just so sad
unfortunately,
because DS9 has such good female characters. Like
yeah, I
that
know,
you
and
just
this,
don't
I
use
think
them in
this
this
is what
episode. It makes me
I think
sad.
this is where the most of the criticism came from is that the Dax and Kira were two incredibly strong characters in the normal Star Trek universe, and now they've turned them into a one-dimensional
Mm,
character. They didn't even give them the right to have two dimensions; they just give them a single dimension,
exact.
and I think that's what copped the criticism is that they could have done it differently. I mean, they gave O'Brien a very three-dimensional character or
Mm.
two-dimensional character. Let's be fair. I think
Yeah, but he's a
the
mob boss and he's got all these people that are his own people and he
yeah.
tries to
So
treat them.
he's a
He's like, even
two-dimensional
though he's
character.
like a two-dimensional character, he's still got a lot of his own autonomy in the way that women
Yeah,
do not have
and
autonomy.
even Worf's character, I think, would be about two and a half dimensions. I think the biggest character that they had was Cisco, he or Avery Brooks. He had a
Mm.
three-dimensional character. You could see
Yeah.
that he kept changing back and forth, like the traditional evil character, the evil madman. He was that. He played the evil madman really good. I have to
Really
say it.
well.
Sorry,
Hmm? I'm just
what?
agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. But their criticism um, was directed at the female characters. Even though it is one of the most popular episodes, there's still even today there's still a lot of criticism about it.
It's like the only problem I have with the episode, really, though, is just that they didn't take that opportunity. Otherwise, the episode is a fantastic episode, which is just so
But
sad. I'm like, you could have had a 10 out of 10, guys. You just
I think DS9 became obsessed with 40s, 50s, and 60s. They
oh, they really
became
did.
obsessed with those three
And I
decades.
kind of hate it in the later seasons. I got to be honest with you. I'm not a fan of what's his name in the
Oh,
Frank Sinatra ripoff, and all the
um,
episodes in that stupid pub.
um, Fontaine? No, that doesn't sound right.
No, I think Fontaine's right.
Is it
Vic
Fontaine?
Fontaine.
Vic Fontaine, that's
Vic
it.
Fontaine. I don't
I
like
actually
him.
didn't
I don't
mind
like
his
the
character.
episodes. I think it completely undermines so much stuff and it makes me sad.
I think I didn't mind his character. I kind of was a bit iffy at the beginning of his character's development, but towards the end, I didn't mind the way they took his character. He understood he was a hologram,
I
which
hate
made
that though,
things.
because there's like in Next Generation, we see this understanding that, oh, you've created a new kind of life in the hologram by giving this hologram, a consciousness, and you've made a new person. And we see that with the Sherlock Holmes guy, and that
Yeah,
he gets to live now as a person because they've acknowledged his personhood, and because it's Star Trek, that's important to them. But at this stage,
yeah,
let's go. Vic Fontaine's the hologram, and then he has to get out of here because he's not a real person. And you're like, wait, hold up. I thought we already established that
yeah. No, no.
holograms do have personhood. Why is Worf saying he doesn't have personhood now? It's really weird and
No, I
confusing, and I
get
don't
you. I get
understand.
you. They did do a lot of backflipping in DS9 on they used
At
the
the end,
hologram, they used the holodecks a lot to tell stories.
mm,
And I think the problem was that we were at this point watching Voyager at the same time and
yeah,
seeing the Doctor develop into
a
something
person.
other than just photons. And then
Yeah,
when we went back to DS9,
you get whiplashed by wait.
yeah, I think this was one of the biggest issues. The writers for DS9 weren't really keeping up to with what was going on in Voyager.
It
Even though a
also,
lot of the writers were the same, they kind of didn't overlap, and I don't know why they didn't do that.
I don't know what it was. It makes me sad too because we've got episodes like with Benny, that first Benny episode that just is encapsulates, I think,
Yeah.
all the
Oh,
fantastic
look,
things about Deep Space Nine. It's so wonderful. And then as we later go on, I feel like it sort of loses what made that first episode so
yeah,
good.
I think the problem, I think, one of the biggest problem is that they were dealing with three of the most troublesome decades for social
Oh,
problems.
absolutely. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think what they were trying to do is make them acceptable for, except the one, what was the one where um, Benjamin keeps flipping back and forth and thinking he's a I can't think of the name of it. It's gone completely out of my head.
Hmm.
Where he thinks he's a writer for a science fiction
Yeah, that's the
one.
Benny episodes.
Is that the
There's
Benny
and
one?
then he starts flipping back and forth in a later episode,
Yeah.
and I think that's really stupid. I don't know why they did that. I was like,
No, I actually
"Uh."
like that
I think it
episode.
undermines what the original Benny episode was trying to point out. It goes like, oh, now we're going to blur the lines a bit more. I was like, you already did that. You already made your point. The point has been made. Like that episode
That
where,
that episode, they did get a little bit more gritty on the storyline. Up until then, they hadn't really touched on it a lot, but
well, they didn't have to.
they got a bit grittier with that one. But I still think
Hmm.
it's kind of when they didn't have an idea, they go to the holodecks.
This is what I mean. It always feels like slightly lazy writing when they're like, oh, what should we do? Oh, well, let's put something in the holodeck. I'm
Yeah,
like, okay, guys, could you think of something a bit more interesting?
yeah. Now the other thing that I really I just
We've
could
gone on a
not get.
side tangent.
No, it was that what Nog had to do. Sorry, Rom, not Nog. Rom
It
had to
was like,
do.
no, I don't know
Yeah,
not in this episode.
yeah. What Rom had to do to basically interface the holodecks with the Starfleet technology. Now
Yeah,
they've been on that starbase now for 4 years,
I know,
and
right?
they've interfaced every other system, but the holodecks.
Also, that's so stupid because we know that the bar is integrated because like Quark uses his little security
Yep,
passes to get through to get into the thing.
yep.
Why is the rest of the bar integrated but the holodecks
I
aren't? It makes literally no sense.
I don't get that.
I don't understand.
I've always, every time I've watched that episode, that has always stood out to me in a huge way. That you've got this, they've been there for 4 years. They've literally gutted the station, rebuilt it from the ground up,
Hmm.
but they haven't touched the
They just
holodecks.
didn't touch the holodecks.
Touched everything else, but didn't touch the holodecks.
Yeah, I don't
So
know why.
if there's
I feel like they'd
any
have to like
time,
connect them to power or something, they'd have to be interfaced with the Starfleet technology and the rest of the ship. Like, but they're not. That's so
yeah,
weird.
because if Quark has an issue with his bar, he has to get Starfleet's engineers to come out and fix it.
Exactly.
But he gets Rom
To
to
fix
fix the
them.
holo. I do not, and
Weird. I
no
don't
one seems
understand.
to understand how the holodecks work on DS9.
That's because
It's
they
only
can't talk
Rom
about
who
it too
knows how to
much,
fix.
or you'll lose the illusion.
You just no. What I mean is, no one knows how to fix it, but Rom.
Oh, Rom is just the all-knowing. Yeah.
But that doesn't make
Make any sense.
you wouldn't have a system that's totally outside. I mean, because that could create massive problems,
Yeah,
both
but
security
it's there
wise
to
and
make comedy though. It's not there to make logical
yeah,
sense.
I know
It's
it
there
is
because
there.
Rom's a fun character to have on screen.
Yeah, I mean, Rom, I love Rom. I
Mm.
absolutely love the character Rom, and I think his evolution in the series was
It's
amazing.
great. I love it so much.
But I just don't get that factor why the holodecks are an independent, but they're drawing power from DS9, but they're an
Yeah,
independent
but
system.
they're an independent system.
It doesn't. You,
Who
I,
knows?
I don't get that. I never
You
will
should send an
understand that
email
factor.
to O'Brien and be like,
Yeah.
why is the
If we
holiday
send it,
system
if I
separate
send it
from
now, it should get to him in about 300 years. That'll be
Yeah,
fine. Oh,
exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. I know. Look, I like the episode. I mean, I like James Bond movies or the older James Bond. I don't like much of the modern stuff. I
You
like the
don't
older
like
James Bond.
Daniel Craig? Wow.
No, I don't. I like. I'm
You
gotta
didn't
admit,
like Skyfall?
I'm not a big fan
Wait.
of. I'm more of a Oh, for God's sake, my memory's gone completely today. Honestly, it's just one of those days where um I can't think of anything. Who am I? I
Who
don't
are you?
know. Sean Connery. For God's sake, Wayne, what is going on with you?
What's happening with you?
If anyone can find my braid, please send it to me
I don't think
via.
they can. I think it's gone.
I think it's gone. Okay, Sean. I love Sean Connery as
Yeah,
James
well,
Bond. I could.
it's such classic Bond. I mean, you know,
I love him doing it. I even. I mean, if I had to go, I could probably as well go with. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of his name. Now it's gone too. I'm losing
oh
my
no.
mind. I'm losing my mind. I'm honestly losing it today.
How do you not remember every single Bond, huh?
Oh, I don't know. I've just lost. No, I can't think of it. He's gone. He's gone. I'm over. I've finished. I can't remember anyone.
What were you trying to say, Wayne, before
I
you
don't
forgot
know
his
anymore. I've
name?
forgotten even that. Roger Moore. For God's
There
sake!
we go. We got it eventually.
Oh my God! I'm exhausted after that. Right.
Need nap.
Roger Moore. Um, I didn't mind Roger Moore actually as a two. Look, I could probably go up to Timothy Dalton as where I'd stop liking it.
I haven't seen this many Bond movies. I have no idea who
I
these
see.
people are.
I grew up on Bond movies,
Hmm.
but I don't like the modern stuff. I don't know. It's just too different to what Bond was meant to be. This suave, sophisticated, nothing phased him. He was almost unhuman kind of thing. He was that perfect and
Hmm.
all of that. And then you get the imperfect Bonds now where, they're human. And I think, nah, that's not Bond. But
How
that's
dare you make this
that.
character interesting?
I've really segued off the topic completely here.
No, this episode's about Bond. We're talking about Bond. We're perfectly on topic, actually.
But okay, two things. One is that in the 24th century, more starships, shuttles, and things like that blow up than any other time of history.
I know. I don't know what that's about.
I don't know. There's
There's
no
so many
safety
shuttles. Also,
procedures.
how did O'Brien not notice that it was literally missing from the ship before they took off?
I
What was the panic?
know.
I'm like, what
How
do
do you
you
pull?
mean? What do
How do
you
you pull
mean
something like
you didn't
that
do like
out
a
of a
check that
ship?
we've got all parts of the ship before you took off? Like,
Well, wouldn't the computer say, "I'm sorry, Chief, we're missing a part"? What?
we're
Oh, the
actually
whole
missing
back
it.
end. We're missing the whole back end and the nacelles.
Exactly.
Really? Are we missing the nacelles? Where'd they go?
Yeah, the ejection system was fully missing. How did they not? How was there not like a scanner that showed you that that was missing? I don't understand.
And nobody was on guard duty on the on the
Yeah, they
shuttle.
were on the ship. They managed to take the ejection system out of the ship without any of you noticing.
So we've got the entire bridge crew gone with them, and no
Yeah,
one standing protection over
no,
the. I mean,
no, I
I'm
know. It's
sorry.
like, how did that
I'm
even
sorry.
happen in the first place?
If this happened today in any company, the whole lot of them would be sacked. All of
Would
them.
be fine. Yeah, no, Starfleet's coming down and being like, "How did this happen, Cisco?
And
You're fired now."
the other thing is when Bad Cisco, I'm going to call him Bad Cisco from
Bad
now on.
Cisco.
It's
You
fun.
mean
When
Hippocrates Noah?
Oh yeah, typical 60s bad
Fantastic
guy's
Bond
name.
name. So good.
When he presses the button, he says in 5 minutes. But if you actually look at the dial before he presses it, it's actually
Hmm.
4:59.
Yeah, that's 5 minutes.
No, no, 5 minutes is 5.00. He hasn't pressed the button yet, and it started off as 5:59.
Are
He
you
has
saying it's
taken
one
a
second?
second. Yeah, but hang on. No, 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 no. We
Uh-huh.
all know in Star Trek, it's that 1 second when the bomb doesn't go off. He's taken that away from them. They can't stop the bomb now
Right, of course, of course.
because they don't have that 1 second they need to
You're
stop it.
being pedantic.
No, I'm being stupid, but I like pedantic better. But no, I'm serious. We all know in Star Trek movies, whenever they try to disarm a bomb, it always gets down to 1 second.
It's gonna be the
Now,
last second.
now he's taken that 1 second away. When they press it, it'll go off because there's not the 1 second there anymore.
That's not the last second they need to save the
I'm
day.
sorry, but as the chief president of 5 minute countdowns, we're putting in a protest here.
Right, of course, they need to put that 1 second back. They'll do a
We need to
remaster
put that one
where
second
it
back. I
says
mean,
5 instead of
we've been
469.
robbed 1 second, and that's a big thing. It's a,
Lord have mercy.
I also when Garrick and Bashir's running to the top of the where the control room is. I love the
Yeah,
music that they play. I love
yes.
that music.
It's such like Bond, but not quite Bond music.
Yeah, it's Clayton's Bond.
It's just
When
waiting
you
for the
when
Bond theme to start, but it doesn't.
yeah when you don't have the money to do Bond themes, you go with the Clayton's Bond theme and go. But I like the music. I think the music,
Oh,
whoever
the
did the
music's
music,
great
was actually really really good in it.
on the ball.
Um, there's a lot of good bits. And if you put all the bits together, they make a really good episode.
It's
There
such a
are
fun
some
episode to
things.
watch. It's just like if you're gonna put
It's
a Star Trek episode on, this one's such a good one to
You
put
don't have to
on just to
think in it.
watch. You don't have to think, you don't have to know any previous plot. It's really
No,
fun. You
no,
don't have to
you
really
know,
know any of the characters because they're all kind of different characters in this episode.
because they tell you what's going on. Bashir says that Garrick was in the Obsidian Order, that he was an
Yeah,
intelligence. So they tell you
yeah.
everything
You
you
have to
need to
know
know.
everything that you need to know. They already told you.
Yeah, so you don't need to know. And there's so few Star Trek episodes, really, that you can just pick up anywhere.
Well, in Deep Space Nine, I feel like in most other Star Treks you can sort of pick them up. But in Deep
Yeah,
Space Nine, because it's a bit more serialized, you can't really do that
no,
as
you
much.
can't. You have to in order to understand where all the characters fit, you
Mm,
need to have watched at
at
least
least.
a series to get that kind of, doesn't matter
Yeah.
which series, I'd say the first four series, you need to know where all of the bits and pieces lay.
Yeah.
Um, because if you turned up to it with that episode, you can't even get away with it with that one. But if you, with the other ones after that, you'd go, well, what the hell? Where's
What's
Worf come from?
happening? Who's this person?
So you do need to watch kind of with a lot of the other episodes. You need to
Mm.
watch the first four, but
But I
with
feel
this
like
one,
Next Gen as well. Next Gen's really good at just
yeah,
going,
look,
we're going to
next
introduce
gen,
everyone and what's happening and where everything is happening and how it's all happening in the episode as you watch it. So you can just sort of watch a random episode and know what's happening, even if you've
well,
never watched Star Trek before.
I always think of Voyager, and I love Voyager, but I always see
Mm,
Voyager as Days of Our Lives
yeah.
because Harry Kim starts off as a ensign and he goes right through the
He,
whole 7 years as an ensign.
he ends
It's
as an
like
ensign. It's
he
so
hasn't got out of the
stupid.
kitchen
No,
yet.
but you
He's,
see, the Paris does graduate for an ensign. Like Paris is worse at his job than Harry Kim is.
yeah, but
Why,
Paris
why
loses
do
his
they?
commission once already and then he gets it given back. So
I just
he's
hate it so much. I'm
doubled.
like, they should have given him. They should have. They should,
He's been double the
hate it.
commission that what Harry's been given
Justice
because
for
he.
Harry Kim is what I say. Actually,
But
justice
then
for
they
Harry
give
Kim.
Harry Kim an ensign the night shift at the seat.
I know. That's so.
But what? Look, we can't give you a promotion, but we'll give you the center
But we'll
seat.
give you the
Oh,
responsibility. Yeah, I
yeah,
know.
I mean, I'm sorry,
Horrendous.
but yeah, but
Yep.
it to me, it's like Days of Our Lives. Harry Kim never got out of the kitchen. It took him 7 years to cross the kitchen floor. It's that's if anyone of a younger age who's ever listened to this, basically, with Days of Our Lives, you could that ran. I think it's still running. Actually, it's been running for over
I
30
know.
years. You can basically miss something, miss the whole thing for 6 months, pick it up, and everyone is still in the same room that they were 6 months earlier. They have not moved.
Nothing
Okay.
happens. No one moves forward. It's
No,
just
no,
innocuous
it's
television.
so that's the Harry Kim. Harry Kim is the Days of Our Lives of Star Trek.
That's so sad.
Okay. Seeing that we've probably I don't know how to handle this episode because you're not nitpicking it. I am, which is really
Really,
rare.
it's great actually. I think it's lovely. I can just say how good it is, and you can be the negative one for
I
once.
know. I'm going to have to pick an episode next time that you can basically pull apart. And I'm just
I'll
going to sit
tear
here
it
and laugh.
apart. I rip all of them apart. Don't you understand?
But this one, I'll have to really pick a controversial one.
Oh
I'll have to
no,
find one.
don't
Um,
do it.
but seeing I've nitpicked at it and pulled it apart. What? Okay. How would you consider this episode to be?
Really good. I think it's a top tier Star Trek episode. It's in my top 30 Star Trek episodes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
of all time.
out of five, what would you give it?
Hmm, 4.5?
Oh, oh, she
Pretty
didn't
high.
nitpick. She didn't nitpick once,
Give
and
it
she's
a
given it a
give it a
low.
4.5. No, that's high. Out of five.
They're all
The
going to go.
point five
Why?
the point
Why?
five is being taken away for the misogyny, but other than that, it's a great episode.
There it is. I knew it would come out sooner or later. Do you um do you see anything wrong with the script or the actual episode itself?
Nah, I think as far as Star Trek episodes go, pretty well written. It's fun to watch. Enjoyable plot. Not too difficult to, you know, comprehend if you're just watching it in the background. Good.
Okay, so I
What
actually
about
think
you though? You have to give it a star rating now. Tell me about your nitpicks with the
no, hang
script.
on,
Come
I've
on,
been
come on.
nitpicking
Be
at it
negative.
already. Look, I love this episode. I do because it is, as you said, it's one of those episodes that you can just put on and you can have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about technology or this because 90% of it is done in the holodeck in the
Mm.
1960s. So you can get away with just sitting down and having a lot of fun. My rating for this one would be a 5
Oh wow.
because it's again, it's just a fun episode.
You're not going to rate it down for the misogyny? You're the one who brought it up.
Uh, I would say for the script, um, there is a few, like normally in Star Trek, there is a few script holes
Like what?
in it. Um, there's a few bits in it that I think they could have fixed up a little bit more and made it a little bit more kind of an adventure, more of an adventure kind of romp through it. But overall, I think the script was actually a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Um, I would I would have to definitely say to most people that would be a fun episode just to sit down and watch. Whether you're a Trekkie or whether you're just starting it and you want to sort of dip your toe
Don't
in,
know anything about Star Trek. Watch
yeah,
this
this
episode.
would be a
Well,
good
actually, just watch
episode.
all of Deep Space Nine, but specifically this episode.
But this would be a good episode to get into because it is a fun episode, which Star Trek, especially in DS9 and Voyager, they started to do. I mean, all Star Trek is morally based, but they do a lot of
Yeah.
moral
It's
arguments. But I think,
philosophy in space. It's
yeah, but I think in DS9 and Voyager, they started to get that philosophy and morality a little bit darker.
it got really. This is what I also like about this episode. It's in sort of when we're getting to the later seasons of Deep Space Nine, and a lot of the episodes are very, very dark. And it's
Yeah,
nice to have these fun episodes in the middle of the season,
yeah,
so you
you
get a
you
bit of
break
a,
them up a
a
bit.
fun moment before we go
There's a
back to the
lot of
Dominion War, you
I
know.
think in DS9, it's probably the darkest morality of any apart. But I'm
Well,
not
there's a
talking.
war going on. I mean, there's like,
Well, it's not only that, also, it's how the individuals react to what is going on.
mm,
And you've also got the Cardassians
yeah,
doing immoral things to the Bajorans. And that's a kicker. That's a starter that DS9 is going to be different because they're not holding back
yeah. I mean, from
on,
the first episode, you can tell that. That's why I love it so much. Is that they
yeah,
just they just say that they're like, here's the truth of the matter. This is
yeah.
the setting for our entire series. It's great.
And they lead you in, and they don't kind of shove it into your face. They allow you to lead in slowly and get darker and darker. But when I say darker, I mean it's more heavily, it's a more heavy um, kind of conceptual ideas that they're trying to talk about, and they're not trying to cover them up as much as what they do in. Next Gen and in the original series. I mean,
They they
they,
they spend a lot more time dwelling on them, I think, because
yeah,
because
yeah,
they can sit there and go, what are the ramifications of, Rom losing a limb? How does that change his entire life? How does
yeah.
that affect his mental state? Like they don't just push it to the side, which
No,
is
they don't. They
really
do it over
refreshing.
like 2 or 3 episodes, which um and it's kind of done very well. It's not thrown into your face. It's in part of the storyline with another story, but you're
Mm,
getting that storyline. They're also like, war criminals with the Cardassians.
yep.
They don't walk away from it. They actually go at it, which I think is one of the reasons why DS9 has become one of the most popular
Which is so
Star
funny
Trek.
because people hated it when it first came
Oh
out.
yeah,
And now I think it's
it's
one of the most
still
popular Star Treks. People have like watched it again and realized just how good it was all along, you know.
there's still a lot of people who don't like Star Trek because they don't believe it's Star Trek because it's got a story arc that runs right through from the first to the last
Yeah, but
episode.
that's like,
I mean, that people have done that, but the bigger proportion of Star Trek fans and science fiction fans
mm,
actually do like because it's a completely different side of Star Trek. Even
yeah.
though it is morality based, there's this darker undertone.
Dare I say, I think Deep Space Nine did, in the 90s, what I think a lot of new Treks are trying to do, where they make
Yeah,
it
I
very
think,
serious and dark and serialized. And I sit
yeah,
there
but I
going, I
don't
think
think
Deep
the
Space
newer
Nine
ones.
already did it better than they ever could. They're
Yeah,
failing at doing what Deep Space Nine already
yeah,
did, you know?
I agree, completely agree. I
So
think the more modern Star Treks are not getting it. They've just gone kind of.
wonky.
I hate to say this, and I know there'll be backlash, but they've kind of gone gore fest kind of thing
Yeah,
on.
I know, which is so like I feel like they're forgetting about the parts that make Deep Space Nine so good, like the slowness and the
Yeah,
philosophy, and really looking at these characters. They just go, "Oh, let's just have a battle. Let's have something really gruesome." And it's
or
like
blow
it's
up,
not.
or people.
Yeah.
Yeah, in DS9, they've got those things too, but
Hmm.
you're seeing it from the perspective of the individuals
Yeah.
doing it. I think the best one, and I'd love to do this one day, is Siege at God's what's the one that the Siege one? I'm really having trouble today
Which
with.
which one? When they're all in battle?
Yeah,
Yeah,
DS9's
it's one of the later seasons. I've forgotten which episode.
the. Whoops, that's not. Oh no, why? Put nine there, Wayne. Put nine. Put nine. Put nine. Hang on. I'm really having trouble with There it is.
No.
Um. If it wasn't for the internet, I'd really be in trouble. Siege at AR 558. I mean,
Yeah.
that I think for me is one of, apart from when you see the Romulans brought in, I
Yeah.
think the
One of
Siege
the
one,
best Star Trek
yeah,
episodes ever in the
I think that
history
is
of
because you
not even
see the
just Star
darker
Trek.
side of,
One of the best episodes of sci-fi, I think, full stop, really.
yeah, because you have to, you see how far somebody's willing to go, and then for
Hmm.
them to be quite comfortable with it, how far
Yep.
they were willing to go. And I think
Oh,
the
that
Siege at,
speech, that monologue from Sisko,
yeah,
I think about
at
it
the
every
end,
day.
I think that's a brilliant monologue, and I think he plays it well. And I
He
think the
does it so
Siege at
well.
558 is another one. Again,
It's a
you've got the,
continuation of it, I think, really, that same sort of
I think
space.
so, but I think the factor is that you've got the gore. You don't need to see it because you understand it's there, but
Yeah.
you're hearing the people, you're seeing the people
And you're
who are
seeing the
actually,
ramifications of it, which
yeah,
you feel the violence more because it
yes.
matters.
And you
It's not
don't
just
need
like,
to see it because you're feeling
mm,
it. But in
exactly,
today's Star Trek, you seem to want to show violence more than you actually want to,
feel it.
yeah. And I think
Mm.
that's a bad thing. I think DS9 got that. Another good one is when Jake Sisko is caught behind the lines during the Klingon War.
Oh, oh.
I
There's
think
so
that's
many
a
good episodes. There's
I
just
think that is a
I'm
really
thinking about
good,
the there's so many
really
episodes.
good
There's so
one.
many that we could name that do this in such a good job. It's
Be-
such a thing with Deep Space Nine.
he could easily during that episode just taken all of the credit for doing everything, but he was more of a man to actually own up and say, "Look, I didn't do it. I was scared,
Yeah,
crapless."
yeah,
And I think that's a really good. And when they show the piece with the Marine, and that is a Marine, everybody. We've had this argument 1,000 times. That is a Marine. That's a Starfleet Marine. Just accept it. That Marine arguing and talking with Cisco with Jake. I think they do it properly. I think
mm,
today's Star Trek, they're just going on a gore fest, to be on
yeah,
a visual gore fest.
yeah,
I think that's a bad thing. I think it's a sad thing that we've no longer gone with dialogue and we've gone with visual effects over dialogue.
yeah. And like hard hitting stories, I think.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think, and the personal side of,
The
what,
emotional side of it. Yeah.
yes, exactly. I
They've
mean,
lost so much of it. It's so based on
yeah,
spectacle instead of, how these characters react and feel and what their
yeah,
philosophy is. And
I feel that that's a bad thing. Myself, I think it's a bad thing, but it's the way Star Trek is going to go, and I think we just have to deal with it.
yeah, well, it's so sad because sometimes there are some episodes of New Trek that I watch and I go, "This is it. They've like got it in this one episode. Like they do something really good, and but it's only that one episode. They're
Yeah,
not good at keeping it going. It makes me so sad because I can see the potential
yeah.
of a lot of these new Treks, like the new Star Treks that are coming out. It makes me really sad that they like are just missing the mark.
And don't get me started on. I love Strange New Worlds, but don't get me started on the Gorn. I mean, that's just
No, I know we've already had this conversation. We agree
that
on the
that
Gorn.
that's my thorn, the Gorn.
I think it really well we talked about I think it really misunderstands what Star Trek is, and I think the Gorn just show that,
Yeah,
the way they have
it's
done the Gorn just shows that they misunderstand what Star Trek is really about.
and I'd like to just point this fact out to everybody or a couple of people who listen to this. Um, that is not the Gorn, and that will never be the Gorn. And that
No.
is just the whole concept behind that new
It's
Gorn.
just a
It's
reskinned alien is what it is.
it's just silly. It's just a silly concept. And I've done the research, and it is impossible for the Gorn to be like that. So there,
And
I've said it.
also, I don't think it hits emotionally the way that they want it to, and I think they could have done a different storyline and had it hit similarly emotionally. I don't think they needed to do that in order to get that sort of
No, I don't
viscerality
think they did
across.
either.
I think they fail in doing that, and it makes me sad.
Yeah.
And yeah,
No, I agree with you. I think they just, yeah, I don't know what they were thinking, and I think they missed the point. I missed
yep,
the mark completely. But
yep.
I think we've killed the
We've
episode
beaten the Stead Wars.
and probably Star Trek with this one. I think we've killed the whole thing.
No one
Um,
will ever want to watch Star Trek ever again. We've covered it all.
yeah, probably we're in a lot of trouble. I would like to thank anyone who takes the time to get to this point
Yep.
in the podcast. If anyone does get to this point, I thank you for listening.
Hope you enjoyed it, listening to our rambling.
Yeah. And from your red shirt commander, I would like to say thank you very much for taking the time. And to my security officer,
Yes, of course. Div toch esmusma, live long and prosper.
okay, show off again.
It's just Vulcan. You should learn some.
Show off. All right. We are going to stop this. I hope everyone stays safe, watches as much Star Trek as possible,
Watch a
and
lot of
has
Star
a
Trek.
good life.
Exactly.
All right. Live long and prosper and take care.
Live long and prosper.